Hey, this is Rob Anspach, and welcome to another edition of eHeroes. I'm losing my voice for some odd reason, but this is episode 290. And for all you marketers who have thought maybe your business has gone to the dogs, I've actually brought on a marketing expert that deals with helping dog owners. So maybe
Dog
this is
business owners.
beneficial, huh?
Dog business owners,
Dog
sorry.
business owners, yes. So maybe this will be beneficial, but I think, everybody pay attention because marketing is marketing is marketing. So what works for this industry will work for you. You just have to adapt it. So welcome, Sherry Boyer, and thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so
You know, I,
pleased.
I know we've been trying to I've been trying to get you on this podcast for a while. You've been so busy chasing everybody to help them fix their marketing. And I was just watching one of your videos, and I'm a lifelong SEO guy, and I was watching your video, I was learning some things, because I most websites suck at SEO. They really do. The rules have changed over the last 10 years when I wrote the book Optimize This. Some of the things are still working, some of them aren't.
Mhm.
And but for dog business owners, those are the ones that train dogs, I guess, house sit
Dog
dogs,
walkers,
all kinds
pet
of that.
sitters, dog trainers. They might have a boarding facility, daycare, grooming.
Hmm.
Anybody who does like service type things with dogs.
The whole build it and they will come doesn't work. So you have to get that website out there. You have to
Hmm.
educate people, and most of the dog sites I've been looking at, regardless of the industry, don't have blogs, have no SEO whatsoever. They put very little content on there except, hey, this is our hours.
Hmm.
I was I was looking at one the other day, and it had actually had team members, which, good.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know if the team members are current. I don't
Yeah.
know what their hobbies are. It just had pictures. And
Hmm.
it's like, okay, I'm going to bring my dog to you, but, uh, I don't know anything about the people that work there.
Like, who are you? Interesting.
Yeah,
That's
so it's
very
like, okay, you
interesting.
put your team members up there, but I don't know if they like cats. I don't know if they like dogs. I don't know what their favorite dog is. And it's
Is
not
that is that
really
something that helps? Because I'll teach my people to
if
think more about that.
one of the things that I like to do is especially on my website and others, especially lawyers, because lawyers, not many people know, they don't like to trust lawyers. But if you
Right.
can put something of your personality on that website, this is our team member, this is Sherry, and she likes to do, this is her personality, she's sarcastic, whatever, it gets those people that want to come to you to trust you a little bit better.
Yeah,
They
the
can
the
resonate with you.
resonates with them. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's, yes, put your team members up there as long as they're current. And I know some people have, churn rates that resemble McDonald's. I mean, they're just constantly, going through employees. But if you have a set of team members that are always there, put their names up there. Hey,
Mhm.
this person really loves beagles. This person, likes sci-fi or whatever.
Mhm.
It gives that a little bit more personality, and we all live in this world of know, like, and trust, but we also need to feel safe.
Yeah,
So
that's very true.
taking our animals to somebody else, we need to know that they're going to take care of them.
Yeah, I get horrified. I'm like a foundations person. I like to put systems into businesses. I like the foundations, but foundations are boring. But I find that most of the websites I look at, their homepage, like the page that people land on, is completely not compelling, does not speak the language of the people who might be landing on the page, might be talking about the person's philosophy or something, and there's no clear calls to action. And so I spend a lot of time getting people to put just a really clear landing page basically for their homepage there. But the backside of that website does need to still be built out with more information about the things. And I think in my industry, maybe you hear this as well, but maybe not with lawyers. Lawyers don't put their prices on a website,
No,
right?
no, no.
But in the dog industry, everybody's like, we have to put a price on the website, because that I would not want to hire somebody if I didn't know what they were charging. And I'm like, they're not hiring you by the price.
Mm.
They're hiring you. I mean, we buy a know, like, and trust factor. What you're saying, like, do they feel like they're going to be heard? Do they feel like you're going to care for their animal? Do they feel like if you're a lawyer, do they feel like you're going to be able to not lawyers have such a bad rep, but people need lawyers. They have to hire them often, sometimes. Um, do you feel like you could resonate with that person and they would do a good job for you and not scam you or something? Um, but yeah, I have seen so many, like, SEO as it's sold in my little niche of the marketing world is just awful,
Yeah. Yeah.
awful, awful, awful.
And
Like, they'll do like a keyword dog training in this small town, dog training in this small town, dog training in this small town, or they'll do a series of blog posts that are, this is not a bad idea to have success stories, but a lot of them are relying on the business owner to hand them the blog post,
yeah.
which is insane to me. I don't understand that. If you're hiring somebody for SEO, aren't they supposed to do that?
Hmm. Yeah. And here's the problem with with any industry is you have services out there. They'll say, well, we'll rank you, by your five top, keywords.
Mm-hmm.
Keywords. If you're very active in what you do, you have more than five top keywords. You probably have 50 keywords that you want to rank for. And so, the you have to have multiple pages in your website. So, you can have a service page, you can have, a training page, whatever you do, make it a page. Tell people about it.
Mm-hmm.
So the more pages you have, the more it's going to tell a bigger story of who you are. It's going to have multiple keywords that you're going to rank for. And so someone's searching and they may not land on your main page. They may land on, sub page that you kind of forgot about.
Mm,
But the thing is that you still want to be able to capture them. So
yes.
every page that you have should have some way of attracting them to sign up for something.
Yes,
For
you've
your
got to have your
newsletter,
call
whether
to
it's
action on that
right.
page. Yep.
And most every page that I see on websites do not have a call to action,
Nope.
do not have a sign up form,
Nope.
um, do not have an address or a phone number. I can't believe how many websites that are out there that don't have a phone number.
Insane. And they probably paid somebody $15,000 or $5,000 to build the dang site for them. I do you find this? Maybe I kind of vent about this a lot or rant about it. Website designers are not marketers. They can build you a beautiful website, but it doesn't mean it's going to do anything, because what the whole point of a website is to get people to fill out a form or call you or opt in for something, to respond to your call to action. You have no call. Like, most of my dog training sites that I look at, I'm like, I could not find your contact form if you paid me money.
Yeah.
Where is it? And they're like, but it's right here. I'm like, I know you know where it is. Who cares if you know where it is?
Hmm.
Are you paying yourself? Maybe you are. Maybe you're a trust fund kid. Perfect. Leave your contact form in the mysterious hole that it lives in.
Yeah.
And then you fill out the contact form and they don't get back to you for 5 days.
One of the simplest ways to have a website, and we all have these things, they're in our pockets all day long, use them, make a video. It could be with, one of your cats or dogs, whatever, you know, and invite people, into your website. Invite them to call you. Tell them to do something.
Yes.
And you know, it could be a 20-second video. Very short, very sweet, just compelling, but they don't
Mm-hmm.
do it. They don't do it.
Well, I think a lot of people don't do it because, well, first of all, they don't know they're supposed to. Then they feel really like slimy, salesy, kind of like, oh, and that's salesy. I'm like, well, yes,
Hmm.
it is. Are you doing business or are you doing a hobby? Let's make a choice. If it's a hobby, you just say whatever you want. If you're doing a business, you don't have enough business,
Hmm.
then you learning how to do a call to action, speak a call to action, visit my website at da 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 da. call us at da 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 da, or go to my link in my bio, or wherever, where they can figure out how to find you. I
Mhm.
had I have a client who, she's very not technically savvy. She's very popular as a dog trainer in a big, huge metro. She's got people referring constantly to her. And there, she had her website on GoDaddy,
Mm.
right? See, I did. I knew if
GoDaddy.
I said the word, you'd be, I'd get a
Yeah.
reaction.
It's
And
you
they
can buy
ate
you
it.
or buy domains on GoDaddy all day long. Don't have your website
Don't
there.
have your website. They GoDaddy ate her site, and then they blamed her. And she's like, I didn't do anything. She even, her payments were up to date, and they made her pay $60 to try to get her site back. It didn't come back. So she was just like, huh. And they get a lot of referrals from Instagram anyway, so they just sat with it. We made, like, we were playing with our software one day. And we're like, let's just slap up a form with a, like, a call out, like, this area, this city's favorite dog trainer, fill out our form, and then there was a chat widget on it. She made 39,000 extra dollars the next month.
Mhm.
Extra dollars. I mean, who couldn't use a little extra $39,000, right? Um, because people are like, oh, I have been trying to find out how to fill out information
Mhm.
to give you my information, which I thought, I'll tell a quick story if I may. I've been arguing with Google Ads people forever since I had a business, because their whole goal is ads. They're going to sell you ads. That's fine. They want to track it with a tracking number, and they have, call rail, whatever they use. And they're like, you can't put a form on your landing page. And I'm like, yes, I can.
Mhm.
No. So for years, I'm like, when I had my facility, because I had a 7-figure dog training, boarding, daycare business in California. Don't do that. But sold it in 2018. Thank God, just in time, because the county I was in was like one of the top 2 lockdown counties in the entire state. I would
Wow.
have lost my shirt. But anyway, I ran ads a lot with a lot of different people. And I finally found one. She's like, of course she, not to say anything about them, but I always argued with the man. And then who was like, yeah, of course we'll put a form there. I'm like, thank you. I got better, higher quality leads when I had a form and the click to call thing. But so the point is, when my client put a form that people could find on a site, people could tell her about their dog. And this is something I think is really important, probably for any niche. People want to tell you their story.
Mhm.
Let them tell you their story, a little bit of their story. And then when you contact them back, you know a little bit about the story, and you can have a conversation
Mhm.
about them. It's all about them.
Mhm.
And I think that is like a missing.
Well,
People
not
don't.
only
They're like, why
about
can't? Yeah.
right, not only about their story, but the animal story. See, the
Well,
thing
it
is,
is their animal story. It's their
my
story through the animal. Yes.
right. So
Yeah.
I used to have a beagle, and
Mhm.
he got pretty old. We had to put him down because he had kidney problems.
Mhm.
But he was almost 15 years old,
Oh, wow.
and
Nicely done.
you know, every time we would take him to the groomer, I'd have to call the groomer, do all this stuff. The groomer never sent reminders out. Never.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
how do you stay in business? But you know, I'd have to remind this groomer of my dog's story every single time,
Are
you
you
know.
serious?
And it's like, how many times have
Okay,
you?
that is a very strange groomer.
Yeah, it's like one, send me reminders every couple months. Say, hey, look, bring Buddy back in
Right.
and get him groomed, and
Hmm.
they should be able to say back to me something
Yes.
about Buddy and his story or the adventure he
Yes.
had in the groomers.
Yes.
Never do.
So this is really interesting. It's good to hear this from you, because you don't focus on marketing to dog business
Right.
owners. You are a dog owner, which is the kind of person they should be focusing on.
Mhm.
Um, that is just a case of someone or a salon or whatever that wasn't marketing savvy, and um, maybe they were busy enough they didn't have to do that. That's not the case right now.
Mhm.
So when or when things are really good, people don't think they have to do all the things until things go down, and they're like, maybe I need to do all the things. I'm like, yeah, you kind of need to do all the things right now,
Mhm.
just to prepare in case, but also just for good business practices. People don't mind, like what you just said, checking in. People
Mhm.
don't mind to check in.
Mhm.
Hey, are we gonna see Buddy anytime we miss him?
Right.
How are his nails? I don't know. His nails need done. He's a beagle. Is he stinky?
Yeah. So it was like I, I I would have to call them, and it's like
Mhm.
you should be reminding me. That that's your
Yeah.
job. But that's, I think, one of the things that we as entrepreneurs fail to do. We fail to send out reminders when it's time. We,
Yep.
we fail to send out newsletters, whether it be printed
Yep.
or email. We
Mhm.
don't send out thank you cards. We don't
Oh,
do all the things
huge.
that
Yes.
we should be doing.
Huge.
But people think, well, this is modern society. We don't have to do that stuff. Yeah, you do. You know what? In
You
front of
still
me,
do. Yeah. You
on
and I
my
are.
wall in front of me, there's a
Yeah.
whole list of people that have sent me thank you cards. And
Aw.
the thing is that I look at them every day. There's not a
Mhm.
lot of them, but the ones who have sent me thank you cards,
Yeah.
I'm always going to remember, and I'm going to say, well, you know what? How can I send them more business?
Right.
Well, if
Right.
I'm going to get a thank you card in the mail from somebody I gave business to, what are the
Mhm.
chances I'm going to keep giving them more business?
Right. Yes. Yes, that's such a good point. I look at how people market and things they say, and I see I in my industry. So in the dog training, dog business owner industry, somebody said apparently at a conference a couple years ago to marketers, a marketers conference, hey, there's a whole wide open space called the dog business industry. Dog trainers, they're really naive. You can go in there and just take over. And that's what happened. So we saw all of a sudden we are all getting all these ads from unleash this, marketing this, blah, 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 this. I'm like, those people couldn't train a dog out of a paper bag if they tried to, but they saw a niche. I'm like, okay, this is what people say. Find a niche, right? And then they say things like, all of that stuff that they tell you to do doesn't work. Just buy ads. Like, of course they're saying just buy ads because they're
Yeah.
selling ads. It's like if you're going to go to a surgeon, they're probably going to try to sell you surgery. Going to go to a grocery store, they're going to sell you groceries. Going to go to an ads person, they're going to sell you ads. So I'm like, no, yes, ads also,
Mhm.
and things like a thank you card. Like, seriously, how simple is that, right? Things like a thank you card, things like local marketing initiatives where we go and we market to the veterinarians and we don't even have to talk to them. We just take the front desk staff food once a month until all of a sudden they love us. They hate us for 3 months. And then month four, they're like, oh, they're back. They like them because they
Yeah.
brought me food. Like things that you don't stop doing those things. Like I tell this story a lot to the people who are in my little niche, but I'm like, it's 2024. I started my dog training business in 2005. I did the uh guerrilla marketing, went out and talked to people, took them things, cards. I had it like business card holder with, this is before QR codes, by the way. QR codes are amazing. um I put a little address label on the bottom of my business card holder, so I,
Mm.
if somebody stole it, I could take their cards out and put my cards back in. um but it's 2024. I still get, because I had my phone number, same phone number from 2000, like 24 years of this phone number. um I still get a call from a feed store in Scotts Valley, California that says, hey, we need more business cards, because somebody taped the card onto their counter. And I'm like, you all are so sweet. Let me find a local trainer who can go in and give you business cards, because I haven't been there in years. But, and also we would go in and take them like thank yous, but and then thank yous to your clients.
Mhm.
Thank yous to, I love that idea. And not only I love it, I teach it as one
Right.
of the things that we should be doing in the
Yeah, and
business.
and if you're really sick of Google Ads, why not ask for referrals? Most people fail to ask for referrals.
You felt to
Yeah.
ask for business, but
You
asking
know,
for referrals,
it's
yes.
and even have a referral reward program where you're
Hmm.
for when I
Yeah.
was painting business, I would say, look, I would rather pay you for referrals than pay, you know, the ads people to run my ads, because I
Hmm.
just I feel that that's a waste of money because I just wasn't getting the type of clients I wanted.
Right.
With referrals, I was getting the exact type of client that I'm already servicing anyway.
That's
And
right.
so I would give them, hey, and it wasn't a lot. It was like 20 bucks for a referral.
You could give them a Starbucks card.
Yeah.
They'd be thrilled. An Amazon card,
Or a gas
a
card or whatever you
a
wanted to
gas
do.
card.
Yeah. I
Yep.
mean, you don't,
Hmm.
and people are like, well, give them 20%. I'm like, I don't want it. That's an accounting nightmare trying to figure out 20% of everything.
Mm-mm.
Keep it simple, 20 bucks
Yep.
or a gift card or something. And
Yep.
that worked
If
out.
you, I don't know if you can send cash, you can send cash in the mail. You can send a $20 bill in the mail. But holy
Mm.
cow, that people would remember that, wouldn't they?
Or, $2 bills because, you can't
Yeah.
find them anymore, but you get one. They're
Yeah.
like, is this real? Uh, so it's,
I got a $2 bill at a conference in October, and I was just cleaning my office. It's not right here. I put it somewhere. I'm like, where did I put it? I'm like, oh, that's right. That's the $2 bill. And then my mind remembered the booth.
mhm.
I was like, oh, that I was observing myself having the memory, and I know exactly what company it was. And then I found the card, which is sitting right here. And that guy had contacted me several times. He did his follow-up. I was in the middle of whatever, but I'm going to contact him back now because
Yeah,
I
I
found the
mean,
$2 bill, remembered the booth, found the card.
you talked about the veterinarians, but every business can partner with other businesses.
Hmm.
You know, whether you're in a dog business, my former company was a carpet cleaning business, so a lot of my clients had animals,
Oh,
and
yeah.
soil those carpets, and so we would partner with dog groomers and
What a
vets
great
and whatnot.
idea.
They'd be referring us like crazy.
I bet they
You
did.
know,
That's
so
really, really good
if
idea.
you're a dog service owner, partner with carpet cleaners.
What are complimentary? That's
You
such a
know,
great idea. I never occurred to me to tell them to
so
partner with carpet
any business
cleaners.
out
That's
there can
awesome.
partner with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, whether complimentary or not. I mean, I give when I can't handle certain types of work.
Hmm.
When websites are just too enormous and I don't want to be bothered with them,
Hmm.
I hand them off to somebody else.
That's great. The referral
Whether
program.
they have more team that can do it, or
Hmm.
sometimes I just don't want to do the job. My spidey senses,
Right.
if something wrong with it, I don't want to do it. Give it to somebody else. It
You're
works,
right. Right.
you know. But one of my friends has a dog. He does dog walking, but they also, I guess, board dogs for a day
Hmm.
or a week or whatnot down
Hmm.
the shore. And he runs this business, I guess, 9 months out of the year because 3 months it's just too cold and
Oh,
nobody goes to
okay.
the beach. And
Oh, that
but
sounds perfect, actually.
he's doing really well.
That's
You know,
awesome.
granted, rent on a beach area
Oh, he's
is
got
very
a
expensive.
facility that, okay, yeah.
It's in a touristy area,
Hmm.
but and here's the thing is that I think he's learned how to price for
Hmm.
survival. You know, a lot of people will price their things, and I did this when I had my cleaning business early on. I priced so low because I wanted to attract clients.
Right.
But what I
Right.
was attracting was people that didn't have any money.
That's right. Yep.
And
The psychology of it is fascinating.
right.
I
And,
I
and
was
and we
at a,
talked about this off air.
yeah,
We talked about
yeah.
putting prices on websites, and
I don't like
I'm
it.
not a big proponent of putting prices on websites because people forget, or they'll call
Mhm.
you a year later after you've already raised your price 4 times. Hey, you used to have this price of $29.95. Can you still honor that? No.
That's what, like, people, when trifold brochures were a bigger deal, or rat cards or whatever, I'm like, do not put your prices on that card,
Mm,
because somebody is going to have that card from 5 years ago and insist on that price. No,
yeah,
remove the price. When you're in a business where you're likely going to have to customize something for people, if you're not doing a, like, first time special or something, um, I don't like, what am I trying to say? Yeah, I don't like prices on a website. Like, I mean, we're not selling cameras.
right.
We're not selling like my husband is he's a bow hunter and he has all these hobbies and he knows all the prices of what's available where, when, and when it's going down. But that's a commodity, and we're
Mhm.
not selling a
No, we're
commodity.
selling
We're
a
not selling
service,
something that you
and
can,
you know,
yeah,
and it's not just we're selling a service, but we're selling um more of a spa feature for our best friends. These are animals that have grown up with us, that have experienced a lot of our joys and pains,
yeah,
and we're handing them off to somebody to take care of.
yeah.
And you want to price that? You know, you want to pick the cheapest person?
Yeah, well, some people will, but I would hope to work with people who are not going to be the cheapest people.
Yeah.
There's a thing, and might maybe that you found this as well when you were doing carpet cleaning. I mean, all the businesses you've worked with in the dog business industry, there's a problem with comparisonitis. They'll base their prices on comparing to other people's prices. And I'm like, how do you know what they based it on?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do they know they based it on comparing something too likely? And then what did they base it on? And back in the day when we were first offering these services, before people were spending gobs of money on their dogs with like traditional kennels, you opened a door and they went out, whoops, and then they turn you um, close the door, hose the kennel out. Like people don't necessarily want to do that anymore. Don't want to have that kind of care for their dog. They want to pay for care, and if you or training or whatever, if you price yourself based on what other people in the area are pricing themselves at, you're going to be in a race to the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
I was at a Tony Robbins business mastery thing many, many years ago when, those big events they have where you're like sardines, like 5,000 people in a room learning from the little tiny person on the stage. And Keith Cunningham came up on stage. I don't know if you know Keith Cunningham. He's got cowboy hat, cowboy, he's an older fella, got a Texas drawl, wherever he's from. He's phenomenal. He's a CPA and he likes to talk to business owners like a person and not like a numbers jockey. And he said a phrase I'll never forget. He said, you could double your prices right now,
Hmm.
lose half your clients overnight, and still make more money.
Hmm.
Why do you think that is? And I sat there in like a sardine in a can, and I didn't hear anything anybody else said the rest of the time.
Yeah.
And I went back and I was already doing a pricing restructure. I went back, raised my prices, lost one client that I could count, and kept the rest.
Yeah.
And then I was making enough money to pay my people without worrying every month. I was making enough money to pay my overhead and myself, which was, we're always the last person we pay when we're a small business owner.
Well,
People who,
my
people
slogan
don't
is the
realize that
my slogan is that the cheaper the client, the more hassles involved. And so,
100%.
you know, when your prices are too low, you attract those problem clients. When you raise your prices,
Mhm.
not only do you transform your business into a profit center,
Yeah,
but a lot of that stress and worry go away too.
right.
And you know, when
Absolutely.
you can increase your prices, you can also take time away from your business and go on vacation, or
What
you
a
can put money
concept.
aside for your retirement.
Yep.
And
What a
so,
concept.
you know, a lot of people don't even think about that. They
Right.
start these businesses and they think, well, I'm just going to be the cheapest person, and then you know, within a year, they're out of business because
Yep.
they didn't take it serious.
They didn't take it seriously. They also felt bad. There's a lot of feeling involved with money. Like there's we have money patterns. I'm really interested in all that. I teach some of that in my programs. Like, how do we think about money? And like our parents thought about money, or guardians, whoever we were raised with, how they thought about money, how the people, all the ancestral lines thought about money. We inherited that, and then we start a business, and it possibly, if we didn't come out of a business-oriented family, we do not know how to charge properly because we
Mm.
feel bad, we feel guilty, we feel like we're uh nickel and diming people. And I hear that a lot. I don't want to nickel and dime people. I'm like, well, they don't want to be nickel and dime, but they want to be offered a lot of things
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
like, I saw something on Instagram, like, that's the best idea ever. It was it was in November. Somebody made a charcuterie board, a charcuterie board, but a charcuterie board for like little dog friendly treats. It was tiny board, and were they made it, and I'm like, you all, everybody in my world, you all need to offer a charcuterie board for your business and sell that. And the people who did sold out. They're like, I have to make more of our charcuterie boards. I'm like, I
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, it's
People wanna they want
well,
their dog to have
and
fun, and they wanna have fun through their
they
dog.
will pay for the extras. And what I
Mhm.
mean by, you can offer a service, let's say dog grooming. And so maybe you're normally charging 30 bucks, 40 bucks. What if you could charge $99 and now you have a video camera in there showing the whole process that your animal is going through. And when it's your
That's right.
animal's time to get groomed, you can actually pull up your phone and watch it. Now
That
you know. And people will pay extra for that because
that is a great idea.
they want to see the process that your pet's going through.
Because in the back of their mind, they're a little worried that
Right.
maybe something's happening there they don't
And
wanna
and
know
and and
about.
so you're paying for peace of
Yeah.
mind,
Mhm.
but now the groomer is getting, 50, 60, $70 more
I love that
for what? You know,
for a video.
for a video. Yeah. So it's
Mhm.
those things, granted, yes, it's what we call in the marketing field a dog and pony show. But
Yep.
if you can create those extras that
Mhm.
other people aren't doing, you can
Mhm.
charge more for it and people will love you for it. And
I
they will
love it.
refer you to other people that want that service.
That's right.
So
That's right.
it doesn't matter if it's a dog service, if it's a lawyer service, if it's a
Mhm.
carpet clean, whatever. Like I said at the very beginning of this video, marketing is marketing is marketing. What works
Yep.
for one will work for another. You just have to
Yep.
adapt.
100%. I hate people say, "Do you only work with dog businesses?" I'm like, "Listen, I could take any business unless it's like some I don't I could not do an e-com business. I'm not that's not my but any service type business,
Right.
it's all the same foundational pieces no matter what. We're all selling to people who pay us money. And so
Mhm,
we have to understand the psychology of the people. We have to understand what we're doing, how we're going to deliver that really well to not just like meet expectations, but hopefully we're exceeding expectations and rinse and repeat
mhm,
over when you talk about lawyers and you talk about thank you cards. I had to hire a lawyer years ago at a tragedy in my family. Just this ridiculous story. I won't go into it, but I had to hire a lawyer over an estate case. And the lawyer was referred to me by somebody. They said he's so good and he's so kind. So I hired him, and he told me he'd never seen a case like this in his entire 40 years of practice, and he was on it. He was like on it with me. So we ended up 6 months later, year whatever, we won,
mhm.
and then he sent me a thank you card. I had forgotten about that until right now.
Yeah,
I'm like, he didn't have to send me a thank you card. Like
every
I sent them a thank you card. Like, thank you so much for getting me through this ridiculous,
mhm,
unprecedented stupidity. But they also sent me a thank you card.
mhm.
And we're like, we understand the emotions of this. It was really difficult. Thank you for going all the way through. It was so I still have that in a box. Yeah, that does a good memory. And I have referred them probably 10 times over the years.
One of my attorneys every Christmas sends out to all his
Mhm,
clients, past, present,
mhm.
a $10 gas card.
Oh my
You
goodness.
you'd think that
Wow.
it doesn't sound like a lot. However, you know, people
Wow.
appreciate that. They don't just have, "Hey, this is what's going on at the firm. This is what we
Yeah.
tackled. These are the issues that happened over the year. And we just want to say thank you. And here's a gift card for, and I don't say Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And so,
Wow.
I don't have any of the gas stations that he sends this gift card to around me, so I always give it to my niece who goes to school
Right.
around there, and
Mhm.
she appreciates it, but I appreciate the gesture.
Yeah, and you probably, if you've had a referral for a lawyer, you've referred to them
Yeah,
multiple times.
yeah, so
Yep.
it's the little things that you can do, whether it be
Mhm.
thank you cards, gift cards, reminders, but you gotta keep in touch. You gotta
You
communicate
do.
with your audience, and
Yep.
I feel that a lot of service type businesses have forgotten that. They think,
Mhm.
"Well, we'll just post it on social." Look, 2% of your audience is gonna see your message on social media. Okay,
Right.
okay, maybe you put a video on YouTube. Maybe okay, now it takes it up to 4%.
Yep.
Maybe you've put it on Reels and other people see. The majority of people don't check emails, they don't
That's
check
right.
texts. Send them a postcard because you know
That's
what?
right. Yep.
that people don't get a lot of mail anymore.
Yep.
And the mail
I
that they do
teach
get, they
I
open.
teach a strategy for that, for how to communicate with, because it's hard to get past gatekeepers in certain businesses if you're trying to get referrals, right? So I'm like, you get past the gatekeeper by sending letters
Mhm.
with stories
Yeah.
in them.
Yeah.
And you keep sending letters. And like, what do you mean? I made a GPT for animal based businesses to build up referrals in their community through a letter writing system. I got a GPT that will write a letter to anybody,
Mhm.
and bring in that business owner's personality, because you're 100% right. We jive so well. The You got to get to them in a way that people aren't doing things anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're going to open that letter at the front desk, and it's going to be a letter, and it's not going to be like a whole paragraph single. It's going to be easy to read, formatted in a way that's easy to read, and there might be a picture in there, like just a cute story, and community-based something,
Mhm.
educational something.
Yeah. You know, when I
Because
had my cleaning business, I would send out a monthly newsletter,
Mhm.
and anybody who I knew um, could advertise space in the newsletter.
Mhm.
And so I would, and I would send this newsletter out all the time, but I would have dentists and doctors and whatnot. They would just put a little blurb in the newsletter. Well, I wouldn't make money on the newsletter. I mean that I would charge them enough that it would pay for the mailing
Yep.
and the distribution.
Yep.
Um, but it was more of a community service type thing.
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
newsletter informed people of what was going on in the cleaning world, but
Okay.
also introduced them to sponsors that they could. And so, instead of me spending $1,000 a month to mail this stuff, the
Mhm.
advertisers paid for it. So the
Yep.
newsletter was at virtually free for
It
me,
was a win-win.
and it got me business, got them business, but I think people look at that and go, well, I want to do his newsletter, but it's very expensive, so I'll just send out emails with Gmail and Google.
Oh, the whole email Armageddon has got, like,
Yeah,
we
I,
got
I I
six
go to my
days.
email and half the stuff is
Yep.
in spam now.
Yep. Yep. There's a whole strategy on that. I'm teaching, like, I am teaching my people right now to grab a phone number as well, to text the people to say, check their email, move it out of spam, check the email from you, da, da, da. If they say stop on the text, that's fine, because hopefully they've already gone to check the email and moved it over, because
Mhm.
the email has changed in the last 2 months for the rest of forever.
Yeah, yeah,
You have got to have multiple ways to communicate with people: social media, texting, emailing, and on the ground, boots on the ground.
mhm, yeah.
So whatever, and that could mean postcard out. I just got a postcard from a marketer the other day. I'm like, oh,
Mm.
oh, okay. I'm like, see, the email thing has hit, and now we're going back to
Yeah.
old school things.
Let's
And
talk about more old school, because you know what? I see that a lot of entrepreneurs are failing to use reviews, use testimonials,
oh God,
or they're not even asking for them.
you've got to
It's like
ask for them.
every
Yes.
time you,
Mhm.
whether it be a dog or whether it be a lawyer, whoever it is, get referrals.
100%.
And video referrals are great because, like I said, everybody's got one of these. They can spend, hey, blah blah blah, and I love the service, and send it to me, and
Yep.
I'm putting all your reviews on my website, so
Yep.
people look at it and they're like, oh wow,
Yep.
Mrs. Jones, okay, she used your service, and this
Yep.
guy and this, I know all these people,
Right. That happened. That starts to happen.
so
Yep.
it's I, why are people sending shit to Google? Oh, you got to go to my Google profile. Well, then Google's going to determine whether or not that review is adequate. I've had so many people say, "Hey, Rob, I left you great reviews. Where is it?" I don't know. Google, I think, took it down.
Oh yeah, that's happening, isn't it? So Google, it looks like, so back in the day when Yelp was a thing, Yelp is no
Mhm.
longer a thing, thank God. It sort of is, but
I hate Yelp too.
I figured out their algorithm because I'm a patterns person. So if somebody gave one review and it was a bad review, they'd leave it up. But if they gave one review and it was 5-star review, they'd move it over to the other reviews section. And I'm like, how many reviews does it take to get a review moved over? 20. It took 20 reviews to get a review moved over to the recommended reviews section and the currently not recommended review section. So I had a whole, it said you couldn't pay people. You could, but you weren't supposed to pay people for giving you a review. So I paid people to give other businesses reviews. So for every review they could prove they gave to me, well, I didn't pay. I gave them a $5 credit. So I'm like, we're going to help other businesses. And I got probably 50 reviews moved over onto the currently recommended site of Yelp. Google's algorithms are just,
they're insane.
they're insane.
Right.
And so a lot of reviews are being moved off, but we're testing right now to see if the person giving the review also starts to, not in a bunch in one day, but every other day, every week or whatever, give other businesses reviews. If they come over, and they're coming over, they're showing up.
Yeah. And the whole cycle of I would prefer that they just email me the review, so I can put it on my website, because if your website
but for a local business, I might argue with you on that. For a local
if your
business,
website
they
is
need as
already
many.
ranking, you want them to come in and see that you not only they can trust you, but you're kind of an authority in your area. But if it's on Google, if it's on Yelp, if it's on Facebook, now you're competing with all these other people who are giving you good or bad reviews. It might not even be your customer.
Screenshot them, put them on your website, or get a review widget that pulls them over. Well, because we're finding in the local, because Google Business Profile, it took me a year to be able to say Google Business Profile because they changed the dang name.
Right.
Google My Business is now Google Business Profile. They are doing like the super local, like within a 5-mile radius, maybe more, blah, blah. But the ones that have more Google reviews are showing up higher. It's one of the signals, right? And so I'm like, we get a Google review, and then we take the verbiage from that, or put a widget on a website. We take the verbiage from that and also put it on the website. Then we also take that, we put it out in social media. We do stories on Instagram. We save them to the dang highlights. We do all the things. But why not also then, when you're sending out your postcards or something, put a little screenshot of that review on there.
Yeah.
Who do you know? I have a realtor friend from years ago. I don't know, there's some real estate coach person that she studied with. And they taught their real estate agents to say, who do you know? Who do you know who needs da 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 da? Every single month for 15 years, I've been getting a thing in the mail. I still get it. I probably, well, I might refer people to her because people are trying to leave California right now. But I probably referred 10 people to her over the years from her Who Do You Know campaign that goes out religiously.
Yeah, because you start people see that pattern, whether it be every month, every quarter, whatever, and they start to trust that person because that person's constantly marketing to them.
Right.
It's like the old phone books, and if everybody remembers the phone books, people say, well, find me in the phone book. Oh, yeah, find me in the phone book with 1,000 other people that do what I do.
Right.
What are the chances of you actually going to hire me then? With a postcard or a newsletter, you're not competing against anybody else because you're getting someone's direct attention.
That's right.
So
I don't see hardly any people doing that appropriately, even in my local area here. I see there's some direct mail pieces coming through, but nothing really.
Everybody wants the cheap way. They think that, hey, we'll just put it on social. We'll just increase our SEO. We'll just pay for ads. All that is expensive. And yes,
all that's expensive. Yeah.
Mailing is expensive. However, you're not competing against anybody else.
Like I have this business card that I'm going to be reaching back out to that person. Business cards are still a thing. This does not have a QR code on it. It should have a QR code on it. Well, I was thinking you could do a whole referral thing with QR codes. Like you could say, hey, this is your QR code. This is your business card. If you see somebody who has an issue with a dog or da 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 da, give them this card and it'll go to your link, and then I can track how many people you've referred.
Yeah.
There's so much easier ways to do it now than.
Handing out refrigerator
reusable.
magnets is still a thing, you
It
know.
is. It is.
Putting little
With the
dog tags
stickers,
on dogs is still a thing, you know.
the
You got to be
stickers that
different.
I don't have one on here, but the stickers that people
Hey,
send.
look, we must be all we're both drinking out of a ball container.
I'm having my morning healthy cocktail.
Yeah, mine's not healthy. Mine's iced tea, so it's yeah, far from healthy.
Where are you? Where are you based out of?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in a little town called Lancaster County,
Okay. Yeah.
right in between Philadelphia and Harrisburg,
Yeah. It's beautiful
and
there.
so that we're known for the Amish here. The
Yep.
Amish are also known for bad um, dog raising,
Bad breeding puppy
bad
mills.
breeding. Yeah, and
Hmm.
and and it's that has become their uh, negative connotation. You know, they're good people. Um,
Yeah. They found a way to make
I just
money.
think that
Yeah.
they could use it ways to market themselves, which they don't because they feel that they don't need to. But they're getting hit left and right with these allegations and
Mhm.
people don't want to buy dogs from them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
they're selling them for very, very exorbitant prices too. So
yeah, well, there's people who don't want to buy dogs from them, and there are people who will buy dogs from them. We
yeah,
had a store in our town that sold puppies, puppy mill puppies, and people would say to me all the time, I felt so bad for that puppy, I had to rescue it. I'm like, how much did you pay to rescue that puppy? They're like, $2,500. I'm like, you bought a puppy. That's why he's gonna have more puppies that people will rescue.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my-
But yeah, they're making a lot of money doing with puppy mills, and I wish they would stop. But there's always going to be a bad element in any industry.
There is
We
100%.
as legitimate ethical companies need to know how to outmarket them.
That's right.
So how do
100%.
people find you? Where do they go?
So my website is thrivingdogbusiness.com. And I also have, by the same name, a podcast. It's on all of the podcast places. I have a YouTube channel, Thriving Dog Business, and also my Facebook. I'm pretty prolific poster on Facebook, not so much on Instagram, but I have a company running that's posting stuff for me, reels and stuff like pulled out of my podcast because we repurpose things. Um, so yeah.
And you
I
know,
also have an
I,
opt-in. My favorite thing I've done is called a 4-day profit race. It's number 4, dayprofitrace.com. And it's completely free. I sell you nothing. I should probably, but I don't sell anybody anything. And I have people telling me how that thing has changed their business. Like every week, they'll be like, "Oh my God, I just did day 2 and I can't believe da 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 da." And I have clients who go through it quarterly. And every
oh,
time they go through it, they make more money. So
that's awesome. Everybody go to Sherry's website, thrivingdogbusiness.com. Go to her podcast. I mean, she's got a couple episodes up, but a lot of the things that we talked about, she expands on those podcasts, like SEO, like bad websites, pricing,
pricing, yeah.
and even surviving and thriving in
Mhm.
this economy. But you know, she's one of the good guys in this industry. Good
Oh, thank
person.
you.
And she strives every day to put a message out there that everybody can. Yeah, I know some of you maybe get triggered by some of these messages, but honestly, we're trying to wake you up. We're trying to say, hey, look,
Mhm.
this is how you run your business better. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter if it's a dog business, doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or electrician or plumber or carpet cleaner. We can all learn to partner together to take our marketing to new levels.
100%.
And we don't always have to rely on SEO or social media. And I know I've written books on them. I've never written a book on dog thriving businesses. Maybe that's next. I'll have to partner with Sherry on that one. But it's you have to learn to market and take examples from Sherry, take examples from everybody, and learn to dig in, change the way you're doing it. Create new systems. And once you can do that, you're going to have a better business.
100%. And it's like one new skill at a time, one new skill at a time, make it part of your habit. one new skill at a time. Because when your business is running better, your life is running better, and you're impacting more people in a positive manner. So
Yeah,
yeah, thank you for the
and when you make
opportunity.
more money, you can take better vacations. And as you know, everybody who's listening to my podcast knows that I frequent Disney World a lot. And I couldn't do that if my prices were really low. So,
That's right.
you
You
know,
gotta live the life you want to live.
that's right. So we'll end with that, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Adios.